That's
Ooh,
our recording, guys. For
being recorded.
Mine that doesn't work has a USB to C.
Right. That's what it is. I lied. It is a USB to USB-C.
Yeah, that's what they use to charge it.
Yeah, that's right.
Does yours come with a steel case, Jim?
It came with a plastic case.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, the case is okay.
So
You know-
yours is the larger screen, right? Like the 7-inch screen?
No, sir. No, I got the old one, the small one.
And they have a 4-inch, which
I
is
see your other message, other John. Not Smiley, but the other John.
This screen is really small diagonally. If I could read this thing, it's like 2 3/4 inch diagonals.
Yeah, that's what mine is.
Also, the one that Paul was using was yours then, right, Jim?
One that Paul was using.
Oh, he had his
Oh.
own.
Oh, that was
I mean,
his?
he probably had his own. Sure.
All
Oh,
women
okay.
just like it.
mine is 4-inch diagonal.
Braggart.
Oh, yeah, you got the big one, huh?
That's actually the first
You
one.
got the bigger one.
Sure. Maybe we should get together sometime at a future meeting and bring these things in and we'll try them.
Oh, man, that would be great. And we can learn. I mean, I can
Yeah,
learn.
that'd be fun. That'd be fun to do. We'll try different things, bring different networks in and see how they react.
Wow. Yeah, I like that. I don't know. I should have paid more attention on this Saturday skills day. I'm practicing these tests and, I don't agree with the way they test for these ham radio license, but anyways, I'm glad they did do it this way. But, these questions are really weird. So anyway, I was answering this question. I was talking about slow scam TV and I answered it wrong, of course.
No. Well, the thing is slow scan is not an ordinary thing that someone might do, right? It's a little on the esoteric side, subspecialty. So I would not expect everybody to know that.
It's so interesting though. I mean, that slow scan is really, really interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Well, have a
What's your
test.
esoteric, Jim?
So you remember now that 1500 is a black and 2300 is a peak brightness.
I don't know about that, but
Write it down on your wall.
I'm starting to write things. I always wrote all the tags that I stopped in my hand. At the end of the day, I figured if they ever shot me, they would find the tag in my hand. So at the end of the day, I had about 100 tags in my car, in my hand, palm of my hand. So every night I would scrub my hand, and you could still see the day before, the day before, the day before. I could never
My
get
God.
them all off. But I'm starting to write things on my hand to see if I could cheat and maybe pass this thing. I'm close though. I'm really close. I'm getting like 70, 75, 76. I got one day I got 80.
Well, that's
And-
good.
And
One of these these are right in the rain pads that they don't wash off. And
Oh,
then
really?
you don't have to wash your hand.
Mini 85 is the trigger. When you make an 85, you're ready.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because when you do the test, the practice test, the 10 questions,
Yeah.
I get 80. I get 80 on all of them. But then I take the test, the actual test, and I get so close, but I don't get 80. And I don't want to take the test until I know that I'm good. What's weird is, at the Ham Fest, I took the test and I missed it by, I can't remember what my wife told me. I missed it by 6. I almost nailed the thing.
If you miss 6, you passed. You must have missed more than 6.
Well, I missed getting the minimal score is 74.
Yeah, that's
Right.
6. That's 7 questions.
Yeah, that's 7 questions is what I actually missed. That's what my wife, she figured it out. She said I missed 6 or 7 questions.
Aaron got mad and left.
Uh-oh.
We were going rogue on him.
I didn't mean to. I was trying to see if the other John was here, not John Smiley, but the other John. Can you hear us?
He was.
John's there. Well, it's kind
Well,
of,
he's there, but he messaged me and said he's having audio problems, and that's him dialing in.
Yeah,
There we go.
I think I'm hearing all of you anyway, at least anyhow.
Yeah, we can hear you, so that's good.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to be leaving early, 8 o'clock. I really want to hear the Northwest Georgia ARES digital net. I'm interested in that big exercise the Northwest Georgia ARES District had and the fun and stuff people did. If any of you went to it, that is.
Yeah, actually, I went to it. I think I'm the only one here. I taught WinLink courses over there for those guys. That was a pretty good one. There were 40, 45, 50 people there. 506 trailers or campsites out there for teams participating. It was pretty good stuff, actually. I don't want to steal all their thunder. I'll let them talk about it. But yeah, that was a really fantastic event, and that's coming to the Northeast soon. I know you're actually in Metro, I think, right, John? So,
Yeah.
but Metro will be the one right after the Northeast. So, and of course, I'm sure we can probably get you in the Northeast one too if you want to.
Oh, okay. I didn't find out where it was at, but anyway, it's over with now. When I originally connected with this, I thought I had the camera on, and now it doesn't show my image. So I'm trying to figure out. I mean, my picture doesn't really matter anyway.
Well, we see you.
It matters to us.
Oh well, okay.
He's playing Secret Squirrel.
Oh,
I'm not turned it on when I initially connected. Well, anyway, my image is on ARES Connect. I know that.
well, we got you. Can you see us though?
Oh, yeah, I'm seeing all of you.
All right.
Just shows my phone number when I'm talking.
Well, yeah, I see.
So, and I can't see.
You got two boxes to me. You got one with your phone number and one with your picture. I see you tapping on your phone or whatever you're doing.
Yeah, I was trying to, I'm just on my phone with the touch screen. Okay, well then you can see me even though I don't see the return of my video or whatever. They can see me. Okay, that's good. Thank you. All right. Well, thank you then.
Yeah, sure.
Russ at?
Yeah, where did Russ go?
He's hiding.
I'm here somewhere.
Oh,
I'm
you're
not sure where
hiding.
I am.
Yeah.
He's playing Secret Squirrel.
I'm somewhere in Lumpkin County.
All right, that sounds like Bob on the Thursday night nets.
Hey, what matters is that you're here. That's all that matters, you know?
Go. Hey, Vinny,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get with, are you available tomorrow?
Who was that?
Are you
That to me?
available tomorrow, Vinny?
Oh, yeah. Who's that, Russ?
Yeah, I'll give you a call.
Oh, okay, man. No problem. Yeah, that'd be great, man. Thank you so much, Russ. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, man.
Cool. So, who is going to go Saturday over to Bull Mountain with us?
I'm going.
Russ
I'm
go.
trying.
Jim, you going to head out there?
I'm not real sure. I racked up my back the other day and I did it again today. So I'm kind of hobbling around here. I would love to make it. I don't know what I would bring necessarily, but I'd love to make it to see what people have.
I'm going to bring a station. I'm not planning on setting it up.
Okay.
I mean,
Hey,
I
let me
set it up all the
ask you
time.
though, where is Bull Mountain?
Yes, that's what I like to know because I might swing by there.
Yeah, so if you just Google Maps Bull Mountain parking lot, I think that'll do it. Let's see.
Bull
Yeah,
Mountain?
You have a GPS?
No.
Yeah.
Jim, you don't have a GPS?
Yes, you do. You have a
No.
phone. All phones have had GPS.
Yeah, you got a phone.
You said
Well, like-
Bull Mountain, Aaron?
Yeah, Bull Mountain parking lot.
And at what time is that?
9 o'clock.
At 9. Yep.
That's tomorrow?
It's Saturday.
Oh, Saturday.
Is anybody bringing a tent in case it rains?
To bring a tent anyway because it's going to be 90 degrees.
Have a van.
Oh, that guy.
Well, is there a lot of walking up there or?
Oh, you drive right up, man.
Okay,
You're literally, it's a parking lot. We're setting up in a parking lot, so
okay.
So what are these roads here though that we're looking at?
they're fine. They're dirt roads, but they're very passable. We were like,
No. I mean, where is this thing here? Because I
Oh.
see all these little roads, but where's like the big roads from here?
it's
Can you get
Nimblewell
there
Church-
from here?
Nimblewell Church Road. That's that road. There's 52 on the other side of Dahlonega.
Oh, okay. So this is west of Dahlonega.
Yes.
Yeah.
How long does it take to get out there from Dahlonega?
Not 20 minutes.
Okay,
So it's not as far as Amicalola Falls then, right?
No.
No, it's about halfway there.
Yeah. Amicalola's over this way somewhere. So yeah, there's Dahlonega, and there's the turnoff off of 9 to 52. And then you go
Oh, so that's closer to me then, right?
Yes.
pretty close, very close to you actually. And then
Let me
there's
see if my wife can take me. My wife can take me, I'll go.
there's Nimblewell, and this is the paved road, and then this one. Let's see. Yeah. So not the Jake Mountain parking lot, but the Bull Mountain parking lot.
is Jake Mountain parking lot same kind of place?
It's just a parking lot.
Two different parking lots.
I don't know what kind of parking lot y'all have over there in Lumpkin County.
This is in the
It's
middle
just
of
it's a big dirt area, big dirt open area like a football field.
Okay. Sounds cool, man. Can you camp there?
I think so.
I
Yeah.
think you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just got to chase the snakes away.
Probably
Oh,
most-
I have something perfect for snakes. A 410 revolver. They'll take care of them right there.
That was one of my next questions is can you tote a gun there?
It is a national forest.
Yes, you
I'm
can.
not a lawyer.
Yes,
I
you
don't know.
can. If you have a license, you can.
In a national park?
Absolutely.
Ah, okay.
I didn't know
Now,
that.
you said national park. You said this is a national forest.
Okay.
Not park.
Well, it's not like we're going to a war zone or anything like that, so I don't know if we need to carry one.
Well, you know what? Some of us aren't without one ever.
Why? I commend you for it. I carried one for 27 years. I don't carry anymore. My wife does.
Things are a little different now.
Yeah, you're right.
When you go back in the wild country like that, you never know who you're gonna run into, so might be a snake.
Might hear
Not
banjo
you know
music.
what, so.
Ding, 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 ding.
It could be a human snake.
Anyway, it'll be a fun event, like we're talking about. It's in the middle of nowhere. This is where we actually had our Georgia Death Race aid station. That's where we set up for that.
Aha.
So for that race, what that is that's 100-mile, or it's not 100 anymore. I think it's like 75-mile. It's a foot race through the mountains. They start at Vogel and they run to Amicalola Falls over like 40 hours or something. It's multiple days, right? So they run overnight with like headlamps and stuff like that.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are absolutely nuts. But we do, Lumpkin County does that. That's the aid station 8, isn't that right, Smiley? We're aid
Correct.
station 8.
So next to the last one.
Yes, So we do that one. I mean, I'm gonna say every year. I guess this would be the third. This past one was the third year that we've done it.
I enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's fun. You basically drive out in the middle of the woods in a nice, safe clearing. You set up your digital station. You send WinLink messages. This year is a little different. Usually we track runners as they come in to the aid station, and then we track them as they leave. But we're only doing in this time, if I remember correctly. So basically, they have bib numbers, and we track each one. And this is not like Six Gap, right? So Six Gap has 2,500 riders. This is like 200 runners. And by the time they get out there, half of them had dropped out. Because I mean, it's still 75-mile run through the mountains. It is
Geez,
not for the
75.
faint of heart.
And
So
they
we're
run
not-
these 75 miles?
Yeah, these guys are pros.
Yeah, these are,
Most, the first 15 or 20, they're pros.
yeah, this race is a qualifier for the biggest race in the world for off-road
Yeah.
race running, I think.
Wow.
So if you get first or second man, first or second woman is qualified to actually run in that world class race. That's their ticket in. You can't just sign up for that other one. You have to qualify for it. And this is one of them. So it is not for the faint of heart. And some of the guys this year were talking about, this is the roughest race this side of the Mississippi River.
Hmm.
So how many days does it take them to run the whole 75 miles?
Well, the first guys will do it in 10 hours, I think.
Yeah, thereabouts.
Yeah.
Wow, 10
but-
hours. You would think it would be at least 2 days or 1 day and a half.
No, not these guys. They don't stop for anything, man.
Wow.
Those
So they
leaders
just
will
run
show-
straight through?
Yeah, they'll show up for an aid station. They'll sit down for 3 minutes as they're going and
Yeah,
putting.
some
straight
of them
down-
won't do anything. Some of them will get a thing of water and just go on.
Yeah, it depends.
And they're not even sweating.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll one up you. They're not sweating. They come in and say, "Hey guys, how you doing?"
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
Just like they're
you're mile
walking through.
60.
It's nuts.
It is absolutely nuts. So,
Geez, I walk a mile at Rock Creek Park and it takes me like almost 3 hours and I just walk a mile.
right?
Of course, some of the ones at the end are starting to look a little rough.
Yeah, they were looking rough this year. I think the condition. No, I think they were a little out of practice, to tell the truth.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm sure the temperature is much cooler up there though, you know?
well, so last year. Hold on. Let me say this right. When did we do that one? So for the race in 2000, because it's in early spring, they pushed it back because of the pandemic. So they actually ran it in November, but they did an out and back instead of a one-way race. So we were actually still aid station 8, but we were on the way back up in Union County. So it was a little weird for them, but this year, I'm gonna say, hold on, I'm gonna do it right. 2021,
Yeah.
yeah, was at the normal time, so it was only a few months later, basically. So,
They were having a lot of problems last year in November with all the leaves on the ground. It was very slippery and a lot of them were falling.
Yep.
Which is not something that they have to deal with when they run it when they're supposed to in March.
so, but that's a really good exercise for
Yes.
us because we all drive out there in the middle of nowhere. There's no cell service out there. You set up your WinLink station. You got to find a gateway to connect to. Luckily, we got to have a few options for a packet gateway connection. So like I've got one here at the house we could reach very easily. But if it went down, there are a couple more. If those went down, then we had to pull out an HF antenna, put an 80-meter antenna up in a tree somewhere to reach out that way. It turned my video off again. I was sitting there talking with my hands to myself. But yeah, it's a good exercise. But so this would be a quasi, repeat of that, I guess, since we're going to go out the same spot and test that. So, but the goal here would be this Saturday would be to set up a station, connect via packet, and then connect via HF somewhere. So those are the goals.
So are you guys putting up like some sort of antennas up there or something, like a pole or something, or?
Everybody's on their own.
Yeah. So the real reason for this is to measure your deployment status, right? So how well can you set up a digital station out in the field? Right, that
Okay,
was-
well, I'm out. I'm out.
Well, that's
I'll hand you the screwdrivers and you know what? I know how to use power poles now, so I might be
true.
able to put them together for you.
That's true.
I'm gonna try out a 80-meter buddy stick or
See?
ham stick.
Oh, there you go.
I tell you, Russ
Same
is,
with my Nano VNA today.
that Russ's setup was perfect, man. I mean, I really liked this setup with the solar panels, and I mean, that's a perfect setup for a field, man.
Yeah, so
The
that
only
would
thing
be-
he needs is an antenna, I mean, a tarp to cover his radios and stuff.
yeah, sure. And you bring a 10 by 10 tent, and that's taken care of, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's, you know, since we're don't have a real mandate for distancing like we have, we can actually put, you know, 2 stations in 1 tent. So we could, you know, squeeze a few stations in if we needed to. But, you know, I mean, so it's not, we're not grading things, right? We're not saying, well, you didn't do this, or you didn't do that, or you didn't bring this. This is see how you really, you know, see how you really do in the real world, I'll say, right? Out in the wild, right? If you forget, you know, some coax, guess what? You can't just go back inside and get some because you are out in the middle of the woods, right? If you can't connect to a gateway, you got to figure out why you can't connect to a gateway because you don't have any cell service here. So,
HRO's setting up with us out there, aren't they?
was that?
Isn't HRO setting up with us out there?
We're not that big an event yet.
How many feet of coax should I put in the van?
I was just gonna say that. I got a few jumpers I could throw in. I think I got a roll of coaxial somewhere.
Well, see, you know, these are things that that we each individually need to measure, right? So, you know, I personally am fairly confident in what I've got because I've done it 100 times now. I've taken a station out in the woods and set up and connected out. So, but one thing I haven't done a lot of is HF from the field. So that's
I
something I
can't
need to
even
work
do it from my own garage, you know?
on. Well, see,
I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I went to Varna or Barra,
yeah.
Dana, or whatever it is.
Well, I
Mhm.
tell you, I think Paul and Russ will kick. I don't know. I've never seen your rig out there, Aaron, but I think that Paul and Russ could take over that place over there. I mean, I love Russ's setup, and then Paul had a nice little go to kit. That's his home base, right? Is it Jim? I think that's what he uses at home.
Yeah, the KX3.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's got a place where he hangs it on the wall.
right. And he
hangs
takes
it on the
that.
wall, plugs it in, he's home.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I think he has a hookup for the battery in his car or something, right?
I want to make a suggestion once again. On these deals that we do like this, start making a list 3 or 4 days ahead of time.
Yeah.
As you think of things, put it on the list. Don't wait till that day to make a list. Start your list 2 or 3 days early. And you'll be laying in bed and you'll think of something that you need to take.
And keep that list because it'll be the same list.
That's
next
right.
time.
I'll dream about it. That's right.
You dream about it, is that what you said?
Yeah, I'll dream about what I should take. That's right.
And you can dream about what you forgot.
Yeah.
Do I need to bring a lawnmower?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Eh,
A weed
Yeah.
eater maybe, so, you know, I don't know.
I'm trying to think, will the grass be high when we get there? 'Cause it was just starting to grow when we were there last. So.
Well, I got a little battery powered weed eater, I'll stick it in.
What's on your digital deployment list?
Well, I'm gonna bring a cooler with refreshments. How about that? That'll help with something.
Yes, solar powered, Vinny.
Yeah, solar powered.
So that's a good one. I would appreciate you bringing something, but on deployments, you as an ARES operator would need to bring your own, right? So that would be another thing on your list. Bring plenty of water, bring snacks.
Well, I don't know how many of these I can go to because of my health and all that, but I'm gonna try to make it. If I make it, I'll bring some refreshments for everybody. How many do you think we'll have there? About 20 people or something?
Oh, no.
No,
Probably 1, 2, 3,
Half
4,
a
5,
dozen.
6.
Half a
the
dozen.
same people.
Same people.
These plus Paul, I think he's. gonna
Excuse
come.
me, guys, I gotta take a phone call here.
All right, Russ, thanks. Oh, what was I gonna say on that? Yeah, make sure you have your list. It's more than just a technical list that we're talking about here when you make your list, right?
But
Because you gotta know.
it may not always be the same list though. You know, different things will require different things.
But
Yeah, for different setups, of course.
the basics should be the same, but if you're
Right.
going to say deploy for 3 hours in the morning on a Saturday at a park, a couple bottles of water and a pack of chips is probably fine. But if a tornado hits Lumpkin County and you wind up getting deployed, for 12 hours, you need to make sure you have 12 hours of stuff. Now when you talk about 12 hours, you're talking about things like your food and drink, but you're also talking about things like, what medicines do you take during the day? Which ones do you need to take with you?
Potty paper.
Yes, exactly. You got to bring some paper with you, things like that. So, these are just things we can figure out over time, right? And things we will figure out over time, and each individual person will figure it out for themselves.
That's where you learn from the mistakes of others, for you will not make them all yourself.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I don't want to call them mistakes, but these are just,
Yeah,
we're
you're
gaining
right.
experience here, right?
Right, yeah, from experience of what things that you need and fast experiences. That's what I'm saying.
Better now than when the EMA director calls and says, I need 3 operators to send WinLink messages out in the mountains because we have a lost hiker, right? You don't want to learn then. We want to learn before then. So, but back to Vinny here, you're saying, you probably won't be able to deploy, right? Go out in the field. And a lot of these guys, being very frank like I am every month, I got a little gray here. Most of you got me beat in the gray hair.
I do.
Okay.
Look, I'm looking.
See, the last pictures of you with hair probably had more gray hair than I do. But anyway, not to insult, but if you can't physically deploy, then don't say you can deploy, right? But there are things to do back home. There are things to do from the EOC. For example, if your health you're not at a point where you can climb on a fire truck, right? But will you be able to drive to the EOC and help out there? Maybe.
Yeah.
Will you be able to relay messages from your house? Can we
And I got a 4-wheel drive truck and I got a mule. So if we need those 2 things, we can bring them.
See, so there are other ways to contribute other than having your radio in your bag in your hand and running into the woods, right?
Right.
That sounds so funny.
It's funny because I think about all the things that I used to do, and now I can't even go down the stairs. Sometimes I gotta be pushed down the stairs. It's crazy.
Benny, how old are you?
I'm 61. I just turned 61 on Saturday.
Well,
You're a kid.
It just gets
Oh,
worse.
you're just a child.
It just
Hey,
gets
listen, let me
worse.
tell you something. I'm not being able to walk and I'm not being able to run like I used to, but I still lift my weights every day. I still walk a mile every day. It might take me 3 hours instead of 5 minutes, but I still do those 2 things.
That's great.
And I'm super blessed in life. I've got a beautiful wife. I got a beautiful home. I look at the friends I got. I'm super blessed. I can't ask for anything more in life.
That's a great
really am.
attitude. I
Yeah,
complain
good
every day. 'cause
attitude.
My neck hurts. Ugh.
I get trigger point shots in my neck. Those work, by the way.
Really?
They do.
Well, I'm just so tall. Everything is down for me. No, seriously. Like
Yeah.
everything is down, right? So I am constantly like this, when I'm out in the wild, right?
Wait till you get bifocals, and then everything's like this.
Oh, I know. Did you see me? Did you see me change glasses? I gotta have 2 pair of glasses. One with the bifocals, where I gotta go like this, and then I got a screen pair of glasses. I tell you, it's a mess.
I gotta go get a neck MRI tomorrow to see what's wrong with my neck.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
man.
I think it's the glasses myself.
Well, our prayers are with you, man.
Thank you, thank you.
When I walk around like this just to
You know,
counter the
you know what I use? I use, Aaron, and you might laugh at this, but I call it horse manure, but it's really called horse liniment.
Okay.
And you put just a little drop on each corner of your neck. I've had neck surgery, and I got triggered on my shoulders, on both my shoulders from the same problem.
Uh-huh.
Many years of on the computer and working with my hands and stuff.
Yeah, just
Yeah, and I get these trigger point shots. They give them to me every like 6-7 months. Sometimes they'll last a year.
mhm,
And they just do a trigger point injection, and then they do a dry needling,
mhm.
and it hurts a little bit while they're doing it. It's a little bit discomfort, but man, I tell you, it's a relief for 6-7 months, man.
Mhm.
Wow.
Go to the Tractor Supply or one of them and get you some horse liniment. No, I'm serious.
I have some of that stuff. But
You use it?
I've got carpal tunnel in my hand, and they think it's due to the nerve in my neck.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had trigger fingers. See this one locks. I can't. Oh, I've had them both. I've had trigger fingers and carpal tunnels on both my hands. You've got them too?
Nah.
I've
Yeah,
got, I
I've
got
already had
a,
the surgery.
You
But
did?
you
I've had
got-
them too.
I've
Yeah,
I'm
got,
gonna
they
have to
may-
get this one done. I'm gonna have to
Either
get
gonna
surgery.
cut
on
my
this one.
neck or cut my hands. I don't know which, so.
Oh man, God forbid, don't say that, man. You don't want to have surgery, man. That's
Rick, maybe your shorts are too tight.
yeah.
Oh, is that it? See, I don't know.
Hey, that's what happens when you get older, man.
I've got a couple of trigger fingers, but they're not near bad enough to worry about.
Yeah, that you get them too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know the shots work, but they're very painful.
Yeah. Like I said, it's not bad enough to worry about.
Yeah, well,
Just a little inconvenient.
mine locks really bad. So this one, I'm gonna have to get surgery on it because I can't stand it anymore. I usually get the shots, man. The shots work great. They work for a year, sometimes more. But your shoulder and your neck area, those trigger point dry needling, man, that's the best thing for them.
All right. This is a great conversation, but it's not about digital.
Well, these are digits, so there you go.
Oh, it is.
Hey, you got it.
Yeah.
And I tell you, whatever comes out of Jim's mouth is something, man.
Anyway,
Oh man.
I'm going to take this conversation and turn it around because we talked about the Northwest District thing, the digital deployment right there, and it's coming to the Northeast. So probably, maybe after Saturday, the next digital exercise we'll have will actually be the Northeast version of that same thing. And the plan would be we would have some tents and participate in that. And that's going to be a full day, classes in the morning, lunch, and then in the afternoon exercises, including injects. So we would be presented with a list of tasks and say, do X, Y, and Z, right? And we'd be expected to accomplish those tasks. Those could be send a WinLink message to whomever. It could, it could be various things, but also.
Will we be working as a team?
Yes, we'd
Okay.
be an ARES group. We'd all be one little campsite, right?
Okay.
And we'd all be working together. And then someone would come over, probably Renee, by the way, and she would say, "Hey, guess what? Here's a piece of paper. What does that piece of paper say?" You look at it and it says something like, "The wind has picked up and snapped your main antenna down. What are you going to do now?" So you have to actually react to these injects. Well, knowing Renee, it's probably like an airplane has crashed into a train over a bridge and fallen on I-75 or something. That's how she does things.
Is this gonna happen?
Yes. But anyway, we'll work toward that, right? If we get out in the field this Saturday and everyone gets a little test of their abilities and their expertise, and we fill in some gaps and actually do our due diligence to figure out where we're weakest at and get everyone up as high as we can, then we have a strong showing at the next one here, and won't make too much of a fool of ourselves, even though I think the better you do, the worse your injects get.
Aaron, do you have any idea when that might be? A ballpark when it might be?
It's probably going to be in July sometime.
When it's hot as hell.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be the hottest day.
Or, well, I mean, we could probably do it in June, but now you're competing with like field day. I don't think anyone will want to do
Yeah,
consecutive weekends.
Why do you want to do that in the middle of the afternoon in the yard somewhere when you got an air conditioning shop where you can put all that stuff in there?
Well, because the tornado doesn't care about your air conditioning and will hit whenever it wants to
Jeez.
hit.
I know, but man, this is a practice thing.
Well, no,
Get
but
an
that's
air
part of the
conditioner.
That's,
thing.
yeah, all the
That's
more
the-
reason.
All the more, yeah. So if it's in the middle of July, how much water do you have to bring now?
Well,
3
plenty of
hours,
water,
right?
yeah.
Right? How much, if you have a 12-hour shift, how much water do you have to bring with you? Now you're talking about gallons of water. Can you bring
Yeah.
gallons of water with you? Deployed in the Georgia heat in July or August, right? So
I have a cooler that's full of water all the time.
there we go.
No, me too, man. That's one thing I drink a lot is water.
So that should be part of your lists,
Let me
right?
ask you something, Aaron. Have you ever been stranded for a couple of days somewhere?
My house with no
No,
power.
no, I mean like stranded like somewhere, like in the mountains or I
No.
was patrolling the Florida Everglades on a police airboat and I got stranded. They found me like 2 or 3 days later.
Oh, nice.
And fortunately for me that I always carried a survival bag. I always carried some MREs and I carried, several things that I carried in there. And that's what got me through. But I was still bitten up by skeeters and stuff,
Yeah, sure.
But let me tell you, it gets to your mind after one day, you're thinking you hear helicopters and you hear everybody's so close, but nobody finds you.
Yeah, yeah.
And that really gets to your mind when you're stranded out there. And I worked Andrew in the hurricane, and like you were saying, you're right about that. There's no water, there's nothing. It could be disastrous because the first thing that it'll attack you is your mind. That's why when people are found in the woods and stuff like that, they've been missing for 8 hours. You usually find them naked. They rip off their clothes. They just they run into the woods. They get desperate. It's terrible. It's a terrible thing to get lost in the woods or in a disaster situation. Even in the water,
Yeah.
where you found people like floating in the ocean. We've gone out to rescue people and we found them a day later, 2 days later, drifting in the ocean. It's not easy, man.
Yeah.
You got to be prepared all the time. I don't care where you live. Don't get prepared a day before the tornado comes. Be prepared all the time.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
you were mentioning.
You just answered your own question
Yeah.
Yeah.
about why don't we do it inside where it's nice and cool.
Right. Well,
That's the answer right there.
Yeah.
yeah, of course. But I was just kind of teasing. I figure, I'd rather do it in the AC if we can.
In your experience with that, Vinny, will be great for us, right? Because you've done all that and you've seen the other side of that. You've seen the process to go find people, and you've seen what happens when you're on the other side being found. So we can call on your experience for that to make our lists, right? To like you said, prepare our minds for these things. If we need
The biggest thing is a water filter, water pills. Those are the essentials to have with you, man, because if anything else in your bag, if you have a water purifier and some water pills, that is the biggest thing, because it's hard to make a water filter around the woods if you don't know how.
Yeah.
It's hard to start a fire if you don't even have a flint lighter or lighter. You don't have to smoke to have a lighter in your bag.
Yep. All right, we got to bring it back to digital again, or else it defeats the purpose of this meeting.
No,
So-
but it's interesting what you're talking about, Aaron. It's
Yeah,
very
it
important.
is.
It really is.
And next week we'll have the ARES group meeting, and we can definitely talk more about all this stuff, right? Because these are deployment type things that we need to all know about and remember to talk about. But
We're gonna start getting together for these meetings, or are we gonna keep doing it on Zoom?
unless you really want to get together for them, we're going to keep doing Zoom.
Okay, just ask.
I mean, if you want to, bring it up and we'll talk about it. Not right now, next week.
Yeah.
Okay. So this Saturday, digital deployment, right? So the point would be to bring a station. So if you can, please come, because Lorraine, who is our EMA director, will actually be there. You said she is coming out, so I'd like to get as many people there as you can. So if you're him and Holland, maybe that'll make up your mind for you. Bring what you can as a station, right? I think I'll bring a station. I'm sure Smiley will bring his station.
Yep.
Rick's gonna bring his station. Russ, did he say he was gonna go? I think he did, right? then he'd have his station. We'd have, I think Paul's gonna show up, he'll bring his station. So we'll have a few of them out there, which would be good. But even if you don't have a station, just come and see what everyone's doing. Stick around and figure out that, Aaron, that's stupid. You should do it this way instead, right? We'll all learn together. Right.
No, it's true, man. I tell you, that skills day was great, man. I haven't been a part of something like that in a long, long time. And I thought it all came out great.
Well, you had a good facility for that, Vinny. Let me tell you the truth. We usually have it at Bob's Shack. Have you ever been to Bob's place?
No.
It's very similar to yours, except I think, like you talked about, your spray booth in the back from there on. He's got his walled up, and it's all air conditioned shack. So it's got like 6 stations back there. So it was very similar where we set up. One thing that's not similar is his building is full of crap. It's just absolutely to the rafters with stuff. So everything's outside. But it's
He's got tens and tens and tens and thousands of dollars worth of ham equipment.
Yeah, it's basically any ham in a 100-mile radius. When they die, he gets at least some of their.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
I mean,
sure.
It's rough, but anyway.
I'm starting to get that way too, but I have a smaller shack.
Oh yeah.
Hey, at least you got one, man. I tell you what, it's not easy getting a shack together.
Never can have too many radios, man.
True. Anyway, so it was a good place to have it. Usually have skills day at Bob's. I'm glad we could have it somewhere else because we didn't want to put a lot of burden on Bob, right? We didn't want to assume that we could use his place. So thank you for the offer this past Saturday for your place, and I'm sure we'll come out there again. But we'll definitely have another skills day. That's always a fun one. It's always a good one. So. All right. So what other digital stuff are we doing this week?
Well, I have a kind of a question for you. Maybe I'm not sure if this is directly related or not, or
Okay.
we could park it and talk about it later, but D-Star, does that factor in here at all? Number one, and number two, I don't know squat about D-Star. So I understand that you could use a D-Star radio to a D-Star repeater, or you could go straight to an internet, but that's about the limit of my knowledge.
Okay, yeah, D-Star. I've done a lot of D-Star stuff, right? So I got my ID51A right here, the D-Star handheld. So there is a D-Star repeater in Cleveland on Long Mountain. That's the clubs. I say the clubs. The county bought it. It's got their county label on it. But D-Star can be used for ARES. It's a pretty powerful tool, right? So it's a digital voice mode. So you have, I think it's 7K of bandwidth, if I remember correctly. And the top 3.5K are actually for digitized voice. And the second 3.5K is actually for data streams, right? So you can send all sorts of data through that stream, including your GPS coordinates if you have them. Like this radio has GPS built in. So I've got set up so every time I key up, it actually sends my GPS coordinates along with my voice, right?
Is that the only model? Excuse me, Aaron. Is that the only model radio that has D-Star on it?
Oh, absolutely not. No, there's lots of them out there.
But on a handheld, I'm not talking about a mobile. I'm talking about a handheld like yours. I have D-Star because I have an ICOM 7100. They have D-Star.
Yeah.
But I've never played around with it. I signed up to it, but I didn't know. I never learned how to use it.
Yeah. So in HTs, there's the 51 is probably the most popular. There's a 31, which is just 440, just 70 centimeter. Which when that came out, everyone's like, "Why would I have that?" And then all of the D-Star repeaters around here are all on that band, so you can use that one. Kenwood what is that model? The 74A.
Now, does that work together with the ICOM too?
So D-Star is an open standard, right? It is not a proprietary anything. It was created by the Japanese Amateur Radio Society or whatever that group is called over there.
Right.
And so anyone can actually use it. So it is compatible. As long as it's compatible with the standard, it is compatible. So if you had your Kenwood radio, you can actually hit the D-Star repeater in Cleveland, or I can hear you on my D-Star handheld if we can get the signal over, right?
There's also one in Jasper up on Mount Oglethorpe.
They're all over the place. There's one that a lot of you might be able to reach down on Sawney Mountain as well.
But on a handheld, you said my Icon makes one, and who else makes one? Kenwood?
Kenwood.
What model is your Icon?
Mine's an ID51.
ID 51?
Mm-hmm. And there are like 5 different flavors of this at this point, right? There's a ID, there's a 51, 51A, 51 plus, I don't know. But anyway, all of
Well,
them
for
are
someone starting off, what do you recommend for someone who's never done D-Star on a handheld? Which one do you recommend?
My recommendation would be the 51, just because it's probably the most common one out there. Here's the issue. This thing costs a lot of money.
Really?
You know, I haven't looked at prices in a while, but I think I paid like $550 for this thing.
Okay.
Just pretty steep. But like that Kenwood, the 74, I think that thing's still going for like $650. But it has other features that this one doesn't have too, like the APRS stuff. But anyway, there are, like you said, it's built in your 7100, right? It's built into the 9700, which is the VHF UHF version of the 7300
And the 5100.
and the 5100.
They're pretty reasonable. They're $400.
Yeah,
Which is that one? Is it a handheld too?
No, it's a mobile.
mobile.
Mobile. Well, the reason I said a handheld, because it'd be something that I can carry around, you know, and since I'm starting off, do you recommend something with a mobile, or do you recommend, I think a handheld will probably be better, no?
The current Icon is a 52.
Is it a 52?
Yeah, it's 52A, ID 52A.
Hey, guys, I gotta run. I got another meeting.
All right, Russ. We'll see
I'll
you
see
later.
you Saturday.
Take care, Russ.
All right, man.
Think other John, you got another meeting too, right?
Oh, if I can get the mute off. Well, yeah, was it Northwest District ARES, but I can record it on my Yaesu HF.
All right.
8.
Just want to
Like they're
remind you,
recording.
I don't want you to miss it. I know you wanted to hear it.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So Aaron, what is the overall architecture of this D-Star though? I mean, so far it seems like it's not substantially different from our regular repeaters, with the exception of this does digital, but isn't there an internet component to it too?
So there is an internet component, but it is not a requirement for operation.
Okay.
So you have your station, right? Your HT or your mobile. And obviously you can do simplex amongst each other, right? And that's going to be digital voice, right? So unlike FM, which has, you know, for the signal strength over distance kind of, you know, drops off in a curve.
Right.
Well, since this is digital audio, this is going to be like this, and it's just going to disappear.
Right.
Yeah. You know, there'll be a little slope at the end, what's called R2D2ing, right? You hear a little digitalization of stuff, but it's a good quality signal. The repeaters, when you get a repeater, what you do is you buy a control unit, and it has modules that you can buy, A, B, C, D, right? The A unit is the 70 centimeter, the 440 module. The B is the 2 meter. No, that is not right. I'm sorry, that is not right at all. I can't remember how they go now.
Is that like a hotspot, Aaron? Like one of these? Is that like one of these?
Like a hotspot? No, I'm talking about, this is a repeater on a mountain somewhere.
See if I can get it right. There we go.
And some, I'm talking about, you know, physical repeaters on the
Oh,
mountain.
physical repeaters. Okay.
Anyway, I'm just going to genericize and say there's a module for 440, there's a module for 2 meters, there's a module for 1.2, there's a module for 1.2 high-speed data, right? And I think the repeater over here on Cleveland has the 440 and the high-speed data, but I think the antenna is not plugged in. But anyway, the 440 works, but I don't think the 1.2 gig data works. But Anyway, you can actually use that. It's just like an analog repeater. You know, you can bounce the digital signal off. So it does not, it's not compatible with analog voice. It's just D-Star. The internet part comes when you can actually link the repeater to another repeater. So I can, using this radio, tell that repeater, link over to Kuala Lumpur, right? And it will link over to Kuala Lumpur, assuming everything's set up right. And now I can talk to a guy on my radio in Kuala Lumpur. Now that's cheating when you talk about ham radio guys, right? Right. That's however, it's really powerful when you have things called reflectors, which are just servers that sit on the internet, and you can actually link repeaters to a reflector. And what that means is you have a reflector, for example, 30 alpha. 30 alpha is actually sits somewhere in the Amazon cloud, and at any moment there are, I don't know, 50 repeaters linked over to it. So every time you talk on a repeater that's linked over to a reflector, everyone on that reflector hears you. You know, every other repeater that's on that reflector, you know, hears you as well. So now also internet-based stuff is you can get a little dongle USB device that plugs in your laptop or whatever, and you can actually connect to that via your radio. Or there's a different version, you plug headphones in, right, and use your laptop as your D-Star station, and you can actually link that to Digipeater, not Digipeater, I'm sorry, to the reflector as well.
So your handheld will work D-Star and it'll work also the 2 meter repeaters. So it's like a dual bander, right?
Well, so this is dual band analog and it's dual band D-Star. Right.
There are a blue jillion videos on YouTube about D-Star.
Yeah. It's the real power of D-Star is the data you can send along with it. So you can run a program called DRATs. Like I have DRATs on my laptop, and we can talk about DRATs in detail later. But it's basically a chat program. It's kind of like FL Digi, except for D-Star. So what you can do is plug your radio into your laptop, and you can actually do keyboard to keyboard over D-Star over the air. So I've done that.
What interface do you use for that, Aaron? What kind of
Uh,
interface? Is it USB or?
So in this case, it depends on your radio, obviously, but in this case, there's a USB cable that plugs into one of these ports that are down here,
Right.
and it just appears as a COM port, just like any other high-end
Mhm.
radio that you plug in and get all the, you know, the COM port.
So
I
why
gotcha.
do you need the hotspot then for D-Star?
You don't need a hotspot for D-Star.
You don't?
No.
Okay, then I got the wrong information. They told me I needed a hotspot and they recommended that one, so I got that one.
You don't need it, right? I mean, you can, if you can talk to other D-Star radios, and you don't need it. However, it's probably a good thing to have if you already have it, because you can plug in and now you're talking, you know, using your radio and talking to the hotspot on your machine and then using the internet to get out. Obviously, I'll say for disaster situations, we assume we don't have internet at home, so it's not going to do too much good, right? That's the other side of that. So where was I? Oh yeah, the power is in the data. Like I said, you can use DRATs, and I've done that with my buddy down in Cumming. We've done simplex, where I have literally this little HT plugged into my antenna outside, plugged into my laptop. He's down, I guess halfway between Cumming and Gainesville, and we talk simplex, and we're just typing to each other, you know, over the air. And of course, each one of us gets a GPS update every time someone sends a message, because we have that included as well. But there's a story that that's told in ARES lore about way back in the day, where there was an issue with deploying to a bridge to get the status of the bridge during a flood event, and everyone was deployed, or everyone was sent out. The team was sent out to go look at it. When they got there, like the gate was locked, right, and there was like some I can't remember what it was exactly, like trees were down or something like that. And, you know, they called and said, hey, we can't get here because of this. We can't get through the gate. And everyone back at the EOC is like, what gate? Like, there's a gate here. You're in the wrong place. No, we're not in the wrong place. And so what they did is they actually took a picture and sent it back via D-Star and showed them, no, there's a gate here, right? And showed that their maps were out of date. So, you know, there was another story about getting in an airplane with a D-Star radio and flying over affected areas and taking pictures and then live streaming them back down or live downloading them while we're in the air. So that was
What would you take the pictures on?
So you can take it on your cell phone, right? And then connect via your cell phone via Bluetooth if your radio supports it.
The D-Star radio would support Bluetooth?
Yeah, some of them do, yeah.
Okay,
So you can connect via, you load an app on your phone,
right.
you take the picture, and then it connects to your radio and starts sending the.
So you could do that with that handheld?
So this one does not have the Bluetooth, so I cannot do that. I can get a image on my laptop and hook it to my laptop and send it that way if I wanted to.
So you connect your handheld to the laptop, that handheld, and it'll work.
Yep, I've done it several times, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm just thinking if I'm going to invest later on a handheld like that, I like to get something that's going to be, you know, I'd rather cry once and buy once and than buying, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I have to give my usual, we all don't want to be the masters of everything because you can't do that, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
the primary digital communication for an ARES group in Georgia is going to be WinLink. But now, does that mean everyone needs to have WinLink capable everything at all times? Maybe not. If you are deployed and you have D-Star and I have D-Star, you can send me your stuff via D-Star and I can send it via WinLink if needed, right? So I guess I'm saying choose your battles wisely, whatever you want to try to tackle.
See, I don't know anything about digital at all. So after I saw everybody with those gold boxes yesterday, Saturday, I like to prepare myself to get one eventually. And I like Paul's system a lot, but I also loved Russ's system because we gotta think that we're not gonna have any power. So the solar would just, that's a perfect thing to have.
Yep.
And it wasn't that really expensive if you come to think of it,
Correct.
you know, to have a setup like that.
Yep, you're correct. And these are another reason that we have these skills days and we'll have this thing Saturday is you can see that, hey, Smiley did it this way, and that's pretty good. Let me write that down and I can do that too. Right. Yeah. So you like Russ's solar. I think I like Russ's solar too, and I have for years. I just never gotten around to it. But yeah, solar is a great thing to take with you if you're on a full deployment, because in good conditions with low duty cycle, it can run your station by itself. Right. So we had a field day for the Cleveland Club, and I don't think anyone here was. Rick, I don't think you were there yet. Did you go that really big field day over the church before it got built? You know what I'm talking about, Rick?
Yeah.
Where we had
That
the
was
big.
my first field day.
It was your first field day.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a gargantuan setup, right? It was only like a 4, what was it, a 4D or 4A rather, but it was 4 stations, but all of it was QRP. It was all battery, and the entire thing was being powered by solar panels that were assembled by one of the members. So it was a huge array that was basically feeding back into a power distribution grid that everyone's plugged into. So everyone's on battery, but during the day, everyone's station was being powered by solar. And then when the sun went down, then we used battery power. But it can totally be a really valuable asset in a deployment. So.
We also had another one in Cleveland over there on that field for about 4 years ago.
It was in the park downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had solar panels there, but we didn't use them.
Oh yeah.
I had the golf cart I was charging the golf cart batteries with the solar panels.
That's right. We had did you bring the batteries too, Rick?
Well, I had the batteries in the golf cart.
Yeah, someone brought a bunch of batteries and that's what all we were using,
Oh,
right?
that was Jerry.
Oh, that's right. Jerry Davis, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, he had a whole bunch of those. We ran the whole day off just basically, what, he brought like 10 batteries or something like that?
bunches of them, yeah.
It was like, really? That only
We
weighs
we
4
carried
tons.
them over on the golf cart because they were so damn heavy.
That was QRP also, wasn't it?
Yeah, usually what
Yeah.
those guys over there do is QRP, right? You get a multiplier for QRP.
Yeah, we just had too much noise from the town there.
Yeah.
And all
We
the
weren't
lights
getting
showing.
good contacts.
It was good to show that, show to the people passing by.
So what's more commonly used, on HF digital or the D-Star? What's more common and used now?
Oh, so
They're
on
both used just as equally.
on HF, no one uses D-Star because it's HF's not stable enough really for the digital to be useful. So the other digital modes like your PSK or something like that are actually made for these things, those are going to be a lot more ubiquitous there. So
And D-Star is still young.
What was
Yeah.
that, Smiley?
D-Star is still young. There is not a lot of people that are using D-Star.
Okay. I just want to get something that's most people are using, because I've never done any digital. And if I'm going to get something that I need to get, then I like to get something that most people are using.
next time you talk to Paul, ask him about this because we used to have, when we got that D-Star repeater over there in Cleveland, we used to have every Monday at 8 o'clock, we used to have a digital voice net via D-Star. And so that was a good tool for the club because some members who are transient or who moved away could actually link up to us through a reflector and actually participate in the nets like that. So that has fallen into disuse. I don't know if that repeater is really used that much. And I will tell you the truth, I think D-Star, because for the longest time ARES was pushing D-Star because of its capabilities, but because it kind of switched and the big focus has been WinLink and that's what everyone's using now, then that's kind of interest in D-Star's kind of waned. So it's kind of back to the level of all the other digital voice modes, right? Like System Fusion or something like that. So. Anyway.
All I know is it goes down quite a bit because Murray always complains about it.
Well, that's because it doesn't really go down, right? It's usable. It just can't link out because the network that repeater is on over there is controlled by the county, and they keep dropping the connection.
Oh, okay.
They keep
Well,
blocking.
whatever.
So it's still, if you and I were, had our HTs, we could still talk through it, but we just couldn't link to a reflector or a user couldn't connect to it remotely.
So that handheld only works dual banded 146, 440 and D-Star, right?
Yeah, but it's analog and D-Star on both of those bands.
Yeah, right. Analog and digital on both those bands.
Yep.
Now that antenna is that's not the one that comes with it, right?
Of course not. It's got a little stupid duck comes with it. This is just a diamond.
Yeah.
I think this is the same one that we all use.
Yeah.
Most people are buying the Kenwood 71. That seems to be the most popular D-Star digital kitchen sink radio.
74?
74 or 71?
Yes.
74.
They had a 72, and the new one's a 74.
So 71 or 72 or 74?
74.
74?
So 74 has D-Star built in, but it also has APRS built in. It also has GPS built in. It's got that TNC. Remember we talked about? Oh no, it wasn't you. I'm sorry. I had multiple events happening Saturday. Somebody I talked to Saturday was talking about if you do packet WinLink, you need a TNC of some kind. It can do the TNC built in.
Where does that one run? The 74, you know?
I don't want to say
650, aren't they?
650, yeah.
Is that a Kenwood?
Yeah. Let's see.
Wow, they're both pricey, huh?
Yeah.
You could almost get an HF rig for that.
Well, here's the
Hey, you
thing.
can.
Yeah, I know, right? Hold on, let me Google something. Stand by.
Because the 7100 that I got,
Mm-hmm.
it does the D-Star, but I was also thinking, you know what, for a Go box, that would be an excellent radio for a little Go box.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect radio for Go Box.
Yeah.
Oh, Gigaparts has an open box 74 for $850. Good gravy, Bill.
Oh,
That's wow.
yeah, that is wow.
Yeah. I have more hand talkies than I want anyway, but they're all Baofangs and I got one Yaesu or two Yaesu or yeah, two Yaesus. But
Well, the thing with the handheld though, you could be in your car or you could be walking down the street or whatever, and you have a handheld with you. You could be walking down a trail or wherever, and you have that handheld with you. Then with a mobile, you're kind of stuck to the stationary, you know?
Yep.
And you got 5 watts versus 50. So, you know, there's a plus and a minus on each side.
Right. So does Kenwood make it like an all band with the D-Star and all that?
Not that I know of.
Just so 7100 will probably be the best.
Well, I mean, 7100. That's all. That's
Yeah, it's
almost
an all-
all band.
Yeah, it's an all band. It's VHF, UHF, HF.
Okay. Yeah, then yeah, that should be fine to use. Yeah, I was thinking it was just HF for some reason, but yeah,
No, it's an all band.
yeah.
Yeah, but the handheld, man, it's true what Smiley says, that it's good because you got 50 watts, but at the same token, you know, you're kind of like stationary.
You can always set up your base station at home as a crossband or something like that. So you're gonna have 50 watts out in the world, but 5 watts back to yourself.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now
hang on.
you can use an amplifier with that day. Well, it doesn't really matter, right? With D-Star, you don't need an amplifier for that.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't put an amplifier on because it's digital. You may run into issues with.
Yeah, that's
The
what I'm saying. You won't be able to.
Now, some you can. I don't have it close at hand. It's right over there. But that buddy that I talked about that I did the D-Star stuff with, he found a bunch of their Motorola little amps for HTs. Kind of, you probably had one in your car when you were a cop there, Vinny. You know, where you drop your handy talkie into the cradle, and now it's a 50 watt back. Right, that the amp part of that actually works on the hand band. Right, you can get some of that for the hand band as well. So I got a couple of, he had a couple. So we had, this guy at 5 watts plugged into this amplifier that was actually compatible with D-Star. So I was actually bringing it. I can talk here. I was actually able to bring it from 5 watts to 35 watts, I think. So yeah, that may be, if you can find something like that, that may be a solution. Anyway, if you guys want to, we can talk about D-Star some more. Because guess what? I don't have a program for next week for the real ARES meeting. So,
Well, I'm new to this, so whatever you guys decide to do, I'm good with it.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's a thought, I'm kind of curious about the architecture of the thing too, still getting it straight. I understand if you just have D-Star, let's say a portable or handheld or what have you, to a D-Star repeater to someone else's handheld. Okay, that's great. In the case of the internet action, there was a couple of different scenarios, I guess, the D-Star repeater to the internet to another D-Star repeater and so on. What was this dongle business though? How does a dongle function and factor into that?
Okay, so there are two flavors of dongle. One is just a little simple thing that plugs in, and it's basically a repeater for your HT, right? So you go into the software and you set up your dongle to accept certain commands. So when my video went off again, why does it keep going off?
Oops.
I don't know what's happened there.
Or
So you talk on your radio and you're really talking to your dongle and it's going out the internet, right?
Hmm.
And you can link this to reflectors. You can link your dongle to reflectors, or you can link your dongle to repeaters. So you can actually use that functionality if you want to.
so you don't need a D-Star radio, you just need a dongle.
Well, no, there's two flavors of dongle. One, you need a radio. And the other flavor is you plug it in and you just basically your laptop or your computer becomes your D-Star node, right? So you're just basically on the internet only, linking over to repeaters and whatnot.
You gotta have an internet connection with your laptop then.
Correct.
Can you do that through a phone,
Sure.
or a
Yeah.
tablet?
Yeah.
Okay, because, my tablet is at constant internet connection.
Mm-hmm.
Can I do that through that?
Yeah, if you just turn your hotspot on there, it's fine.
Now, where do you get the dongle like that, or dongle?
HRO has them. I mean, you can get them all the usual places.
Are
That
they
sounds-
really expensive?
So it depends. So one of the reasons these radios are so expensive is because they have a little chip in them, the AMBE chip, AMBE, right? And it's basically a digital. How do they put it? It's the vocoder, I guess. It's the digital encoder and decoder for voice, and it's like the best one or the only one, and they have patents or something. More of the story is when you break it down is you can only basically have one choice is you license that chip from those guys, and that's expensive from what I understand. So there's one in this radio. So if you get the dongle that doesn't let me get it right in my head. If you get the dongle that's just the hotspot for your HT, then that's going to be cheaper than the one that you plug in that you put your headphones on, right? Because that little dongle has to have that same chip as well.
That sounds a little bit like Echo Link.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, it's similar with Echolink as you use the internet and then the Echolink node, changes your digital internet signal to analog over radio, right?
Okay.
Very similar.
I'm thinking about building a fire and using smoke signals. That might work better for me.
That'll work.
Hey, whatever works.
I'm not much up on technology, but I'm trying.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know anything about digital at all. That's why I'm very fortunate and blessed to be here with you guys so I can learn this digital thing. I'm really interested in learning it,
Well,
But like everything else, Rome wasn't built in a day,
well, exactly. And you can't be expected to know everything because there's no way. There's too much stuff for you to know everything. So if you want to learn digital, we'll teach you digital. So that's your thing to choose. So.
Do one thing and do it good.
Yeah.
And as an
Do it
area
well.
group, if there's 10 of us and we each do one thing good, then we have 10 good things we can do. So.
Well, the thing with digital, man, it's just it's really nice, man. You could be like some days I don't even want to be on the radio, man, but I could be once I get my flex, according to what Jim was telling me, I could be in my bedroom, laying out in bed, and I could be on my computer, and making contacts.
You're right. You're right.
So digital is a big thing.
I'll one up you. You can be in your bed and make contact without saying anything because you can just type it into a terminal window somewhere and it pops up.
Right.
That's the radio.
And do CW as well.
Exactly. Are you a code guy, Vinny? You know code?
Jim is awful quiet today.
No. I'm just taking it all in. I'm learning here, I got one mouth and two ears, so I use it like that.
Well, that's a virtue, you know. Be slow to speak and quick to listen.
Yeah, I mean, I've done the laptop with the Flex and it worked very well. I was laid up for a while and I used to have my wife come downstairs here, turn the radio on and select the antennas. And then I would go first from my kitchen table and later on from my living room, you know, just sit back on the couch and use it. CW, it would be a challenge with the laptop, but sideband is perfect and digital is perfect with that.
Oh, anyway, what else you guys got? 'Cause it's been an hour.
Well,
And a half.
I have some questions about this, WinLink, if I can ask them.
Go ahead, man. Go.
I went to Vera and Vera set up real quick and it looked like it was gonna work real well. But then it doesn't. It gets my computer going. I just can't get an answer from anybody. I go out there and I pulse these gateways, but I never get an answer from them. Is that common or am I doing something wrong?
No,
No, it's not common on Vera from me here. Maybe it could be your location, but I've tried the K4 FEM and what was the other one? AN4X, whatever.
AB4NX.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. AB4NX. They both work real well from here. And a friend of mine in Peachtree City was hitting K4 FEM as well. So, and he's running around 30 watts, the same as I was running 30 watts.
And what frequency are you doing that on?
Well, it keys it up for you. I mean, it tells you what frequency to use.
Well,
For
yeah,
Vera.
but I've got an 8-meter dipole or stick. How am I gonna know which one it is? Is it?
Well, you'll be using 80 meters. And so whatever antenna you got for 80 meters, that's good. You don't need a lot of power, so you don't need an amplifier.
No, I got 100 watts, so that ought to be fine.
Yeah, perfect. But it's going to tell you when you click on that little chart. Maybe I should bring this thing up here. Let me
ask you another question. I have HRD, whatever that.
Ham Radio Deluxe. Yeah.
Does that operate with WinLink in service or not?
No,
Do I need to turn that off?
They're apples and oranges. So they're totally different things.
Yeah, they don't do the same thing.
So I need to just completely turn HRD off.
You could probably have it running in the background.
Okay. Well, see, you both use the same serial port.
Oh, okay. See, I have different serial ports for every third-party application, so it's a little different.
How do you switch that? I don't know how to do that.
You don't have a flex.
Yeah, you call 1-800-FLEX and you say, please send me a flex.
Yeah, that's his radio is that capability.
And
you gotta wait 14 weeks now. It used to be 10. They told me 10 to 12 weeks, and it's going on 14 weeks now almost.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
boy.
anyway, Rick, to answer your question, when you open a session in Vera,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna click on channel selection.
You can't see your screen, Jim. You gotta share it.
Okay, yeah, I guess I could do that.
Yeah.
Let me go back over here. Let me do share the screen. Screen 1. Oh, I could have done screen 2. Okay, now, bada bing.
There we go.
Can you see that? Okay.
Yeah.
See channel selection right here?
Yeah.
Okay, click channel selection and I got this, right?
Right.
Okay, so then, so right now I've got AB4NX selected. And that's frequency kilohertz 3588.500.
Right.
So that's what you're going to set your radio to. If you
Right.
set K4 FEM, then it would set to 3590.500 for your sender, which is the dial that's a dial frequency of 3589. And the reason it's a dial frequency and a center frequency is different because it's a 3 kilohertz bandwidth. And so half of that is 1.5. That's your center frequency. So if you took your dial frequency and add 1.5 to it, that gives you this over here, 3590.500
Which one are you supposed to put in your, which one are you supposed to set your radio at?
dial frequency.
The 39 or 3589?
Correct, sir.
It should do it for you.
Well, it
Depends
did
on your
first, but it
interface.
doesn't do it anymore.
Really?
They quit doing it.
What interface do you, what radio do you have first, Rick?
The TS 2000.
Okay, so you have a cat cable from your computer to your TS 2000?
Yeah. And I
Okay.
also have a signal link.
Okay, so but the cat cable is the thing that sets the frequency, not the signal link. The
So I just
signal
take
link,
it-
the signal link just does push to talk and modulation, let's say your modulation scheme.
Should I take it off then?
No,
No,
because
They do
you
different
need,
things.
yeah, exactly. Smiley's right. They do different things. The cat cable is going to set your frequency.
Okay.
So show them there, Jim. Go to the settings there.
Well, I kind of sort of can and kind of sort of can't because I got a flex. And so I don't have a cat cable. I've got pseudo
But-
cat stuff.
But the setup for the WinLink is the same. You still point it at a.
Oh, yeah. You're right. You're right. That's true. Let me do that. Oh, sugar. I just brought up the flex and I didn't mean to do that. Okay, there we go.
Oh man, what a tease, man. That was a big tease, man. He's so bad. I bet he did that on
Oh,
purpose
okay.
too, man.
No.
Ah,
Uh,
you're so bad, Jim. You did that on purpose.
Here you- Rick, look at see the settings on the WinLink session.
Right.
Okay, click that, click Vera TNC setup. And you're going to set a port here and a data port there. That's pretty much it
Already
that you
set.
need there. You don't really need much there. But the other one is settings, radio setup.
Right.
And here you go. Okay, so you're going to say select radio model and you're going to select whatever radio you got.
Yeah, there's two radios there. There's a Kenwood amateur and a Kenwood. It doesn't have the 2000 on there.
Oh, well, any Kenwood works, I would imagine, because Kenwood always works for flex too. If I didn't have a flex selection, anytime for a flex, you set Kenwood and it works. So Kenwood works on Kenwood and flex.
Okay.
And then over here, USB digital,
Right.
make sure you get that USB digital. You're going to
right.
set your COM port here, right?
Yeah,
Like in
on
my
the nine.
case, it's COM port 12, just because.
Mine's
um,
9 just because.
Well, because I created a COM port 12.
Okay.
Mine is a little different from yours. You're
Yeah,
going to
that-
use
that-
whatever COM port your radio uses.
Creating a port is a flex feature, so you won't have that.
Yeah.
Whatever port you plug in with your TS2000, that's the port you'll have to use right there.
Okay.
Right. Then for Vera, select baud 9600.
Right.
I have enable RTS and enable DTR. I'm not real sure if I need those or not, but I think you do.
Okay.
Then push to talk serial port to use is, I got flex in here. You're going to choose yours.
Yours will be external there, right?
It'll just be COM port 9, right? Which is the same as
No, it'll be external because your signal link takes care of that.
Signal Link does that, or the COM port?
No, the signal link.
takes care of push to talk.
Okay.
Oh, I
Then
have to have Signal Link and the other one
Yes.
hooked up.
Yeah,
But
you
they're
have to have
hooked up
both.
to the same COM port.
No. The signal link doesn't have a COM port,
It's plugged into a USB connector.
but it's not a communications port. It's a universal serial bus connector.
Okay, well, that's what it is. Okay.
Just because it's a USB device doesn't mean it's a COM port, right?
But
COM port's
see,
little-
but
little
what
DV.
I was wondering is, when I look up the COM port for Signal Link, it's COM port 9. When I look up the Signal Link for the other one, it's COM port 9. So when I load them up, if I have both of them lined up, then they error out.
Yeah, that's true.
Signal Link doesn't have a COM port. It just shows up as USB audio codec.
COM ports are internal. You will know
Not
that. COM ports are internal, not external.
okay, it's a USB port.
Right. So then you click update and close and voila, it should work. Then whenever you click channel selection, see, like right now, mine is dial frequency 3589, center frequency 3590.500. Now watch, when I do this, see it changed?
Yeah,
So that means it's talking to the radio. Oh, sugar. It's transmitting.
Let's say you're transmitting.
And the
Okay.
reason it's transmitting is because, oh,
Everyone yell because every time we talk, it's going to key up his radio.
it is, it is.
Hello, Jim.
Pirate radio.
Wait, wait, wait.
Flag.
well, I see a conflict between having COM port 9 the same for the cable and the same for the Signal Link.
So you have to download that program into your computer, right? The WinLink Express.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you're shaking your head, but I'm telling you, they're both coming out of the same port.
I'm telling you, the Signal Link is just a sound card. It does not have a COM port in it. I'm telling you.
It's on a USB port.
USB has, so is my printer. So is my mouse. So is my keyboard.
The
USB,
same USB port is on for both of them.
USB ports are external. It's a physical thing. A COM port is not external. It's an internal thing.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
special cable, man. I had to buy that one for the eye. Those cables are expensive.
I still don't. Then if I have them both on, then it'll air out and it won't even do anything.
You have what on?
If I have HRD running,
Yeah, because HRD is trying to control your radio just like WinLink Express is. So turn HRD off.
okay.
So this is a traditional COM port right here. Let's see if I can get a good signal.
There you go.
Yeah, I
DD9.
have that. That goes into the back of the the
Yeah.
2000.
So this is your COM 9, right?
Right.
So what you have is you have Hammer Deluxe is trying to use it because it's trying to display your frequency for you.
Right.
So turn it off. Because when WinLink comes up, it tries to connect to COM port 9, but it's already in use.
Right. Okay.
So this is an HRD thing interference, not a Signal Link interference.
Okay.
That comes
Yeah,
with your
but-
Signal Link.
No, this is you have to buy your own. Actually, didn't you buy a kit or something, Smiley?
Yeah, if you order the one of them, one of the numbers comes with the cable. And it's whatever radio you have, that's the type cable you get with the Signal Link.
Oh well, but that's the cable between your Signal Link and your radio.
Oh, okay. I thought that's the one you were talking about.
No, that was
The Signal Link plugs into another port,
correct.
an
Yep.
AC, an ASS2 port, ASSY2 port.
AS.
Now, see, mine plugs into my microphone hole.
Oh. Oh yeah, on your radio.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got a
Yeah,
couple.
because
of
it's
those.
probably, you got a pedal, right? You got a pedal to be able to keep.
No. Signal Link takes care of it through the microphone plug rather than some kind of connection on the back.
Man, it gets so complicated. I'm already spinning head over here. It's okay. I'll learn it.
Well, but so I mean, I can talk for a moment here. We've been talking a long time here. We're at 1:42 already.
Oh,
Uh, but all digital modes, right? When we're talking about WinLink, or we're talking about PSK 31, or we're talking about whatever, right? We're talking about JS8 call, whatever digital mode you want. You need the three things. You need audio in, you need audio out, and you need control, which is the cat control, right? So,
Right.
so we talked about the cat control via the serial port. Like for Rick is COM9, right? For Jim is COM12. For me, it's COM3. You got to figure out which one is your serial port. But the other two are handled with either a signal link, like most of us have, right? Because it's a sound card.
Right.
Or like Jim, when he plugs his super fancy radio in that he teases you with, Vinny, it actually provides the built-in audio over the USB cable, right? So I'm trying to think of anyone else here. I don't think anyone here has another radio that uses one USB cable to get everything. So moral of the story is we should have a serial cable between that DB9 thing and the radio for control. Then we should have the signal link, which is the audio, which is it does the whistling and it listens for the signals off your radio.
And it
So-
plugs into a USB port.
Plugs into a USB port, yes. So we have literally in all digital modes have those three things. So if you can get it set up in one, you can get it set up in all of them.
Right. So let me ask you something. Like, what if you have like two or three different radios? Can it only be connected to one, or can it be connected to all of them, or how does it work? Or you can only connect it to one?
Well, that's not an easy or a straightforward question.
No. Okay. Well, then don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's not really a valid question because it depends on what you're doing, right? Because if I had 5 radios, I can put 5 physical COM ports like I was just flashing up here on my computer, and I can have 5 different applications, each controlling a radio. That, yeah, sure, that's technically feasible and you can do that. Would you want to do that? Probably not.
No.
Would there be any need for to do that? Probably not. So, but you can have, say, for example, WinLink can be connected to 2 different radios, like a UHF radio, a VHF radio for packet, then an HF radio for Vera, for example, right? You can set that up so that the one application is actually looking at 2 radios.
Wow.
That's a real valid solution or scenario, I should say.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but this tonight was very instructional.
Oh,
And even though Jim treats us with his flex, and he slapped us silly a little bit, it's
My
all right.
apologies.
We love you. We love you anyways, Jim.
Sorry about that.
Rick,
Well, you got me good with that Vox business because we're transmitting on 3885 here. Everybody's hooting and hollering over over the Zoom call here.
I have done that. I was telling that story actually too at the Northwest Digital thing that was teaching that is like when you're on a Zoom call, do not plug your signal link in because sometimes Zoom says, look, a new sound card, I should just use that. So every time I talk on the Zoom call, my radio keyed up.
Rick, what kind of antenna are you using?
I've got a G5RV that I've hooked directly to the 2000, and I also have a 2-meter dipole or 20-meter dipole, and I have a 160-meter dipole, and I have a bunch of ham sticks.
So you have an antenna tuner.
Yeah.
Well, I use the internal tuner on the, that's what, or was it internal tuner?
The
I
I
internal-
use the internal tuner on the, when I use the G5RV, yes.
I'm just wondering if that thing will tune 3.6. Because that's, antennas on 80 meters are extremely narrow banded.
Mhm.
Oh, yes. Well, I found that out today when I was doing the ham sticks, the frequency for the gateway is down in 35
Okay.
something, 35, 90 in that range. And when the band on that tuning that was very, very narrow.
Yeah,
So I have to
any
tune
kind
my
of
ham stick to just transmit for the gateways.
a little vertical like that that's loaded is going to be extremely narrow banded. I mean, you tune it in 1/4 of an inch and 1/8 of an inch.
Right. Oh, I was tweaking it. That's what I've been doing all afternoon, was tweaking that thing in. I got it set up out on the van and I got my nano VNA there and I was moving it, tweaking it, reading it, moving it, tweaking it, reading it. And finally got it to where I think it's gonna work if I get the 2000 to work right.
Little
Yeah, I was just
Cam-
making sure that you understood that how narrow banded it is, that you gotta be really careful.
Right, but when I tried out the 2000, it was on the G5 RV, which it's got an internal tuner and it tunes out pretty good on that band.
Yeah.
So it's
Am
a
I-
lesson. It's a lesson.
I got a G5 RV and my internal tuner and my FT 2000. It's pretty good, but some days when the wind blows right, it just can't tune it. So I wound up with an external tuner.
Yeah, everything I've got is tuned for like 3975 in that area. And an
Yeah.
internal tuner will not tune it down to 3.6.
Hmm.
Okay.
You don't even come close.
Wow. Okay.
But the LDG will.
Yeah. Which one do you
I got
have?
an LDG, but it seems to get confused on there.
It's,
And so I took it off and I've been using the internal tuner. It seems to be working better for me.
I got a 1000 Pro 2,
Okay. I've got a 600 Pro 2.
same one.
Yeah.
What
Rusty.
was that? I got a 100.
100. Yeah.
It's fully automatic and it's like FM principle, you know? I'm sorry.
HPFM,
Huh?
HPFM,
What's HPFM?
hocus pocus, magic.
Right.
Hey, guys, I have to leave. I apologize. I gotta get going here.
I'm gonna go
And
2
I
hours.
do too.
We're going for 2 hours here. So
I'd
all
like
right.
to bring one thing up again, though. I would really like to get back to physical meetings.
Okay.
They're a lot of fun to get together and
Yeah,
even if we got together in somebody's shack and poked and prodded their equipment.
or we could do the same thing as we do for the club.
Yeah.
Meet at the Mexican restaurant, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
or somewhere
The
else.
park.
I would really like to get back to physical meetings.
Sure.
Y'all are close to the park and I don't mind going over there, so.
Okay.
Yeah, that park is not far for us.
Well, let's I'll put it on the agenda
Yeah,
for next
park
week's
would be
real
good.
meeting and we can talk about it.
Okay.
Although these are handy too, because I've got meetings every night and I got another club I'm working with too, so.
Well, actually, I got an article that I've got bookmarked that I keep meaning to read. Is Clemson University's. It's their guide to having hybrid meetings. They're having hybrid classes is what obviously the article is. But like some of the people there and some of the people remote. So maybe we need to work on, or maybe this is a good candidate to try to get that working. This type of group. So we can, if someone wants to be remote, they can, but or they
Sure.
need. Anyway, we can figure it out. We'll talk about it next week on the real meeting. So next week, a week from today is the real Lumpkin County ARES meeting, usual time. You guys will get the reminder email, and it's the same thing that you've gotten the last year and a half.
Yeah.
All right. I got to bail, guys. See ya.
We'll see you
Hey,
guys.
Jim, take
Hasta la
care.
pizza.
I'm going
Bye.
to.
Thank you, Smarty. Thank you, Jim. Thank you,
Thank
Rick,
you, guys.
Aaron.
Night, everybody.
Good night.
Hi, man.